Hello, student. I hope you are all doing very well. And I hope you are observing all the COVID-19 safety protocols, even as you keep staying at home and learning hard. Today, you are welcome to another session of Social Studies for JHS2, and we are continuing with our discussion on entrepreneurship. We have been discussing entrepreneurship from last week, and we have looked at entrepreneurship, entrepreneur, types of enterprises, characteristics of an entrepreneur, and so on. We started a discussion on sole proprietorship. We continued with partnership, and today we are looking at cooperative societies. Today we are looking at cooperative societies. I'm expecting that by the end of this lesson, the student would be able to describe cooperative societies and identify the types. Secondly, the student will be able to explain the contributions of cooperatives to the economy of Ghana. And finally, the student will be able to explain the advantages and disadvantages of cooperative societies. Cooperative societies, or a cooperative society, let me do this editing quickly. A cooperative society is an association of people who have pooled their financial resources together to carry out production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Cooperative society is an association of people who have pooled their financial resources together to carry out production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. There are many different types of cooperatives, and one of them is the producer cooperative society. Producer cooperative society is made up of a group of producers of specific products or services who team up to seek their collective interest and welfare. So it could be a group of poultry farmers, a group of freight forwarders, a group of teachers, a group of transport company owners, a group of drivers. It could be a group of doctors. It could be a group of footballers. Who team up to seek their collective interest and welfare. An example is GPRTU. That's a Ghana Private Road and Transport Union. Another example is Ghana Poultry Farmers Co-operative Society. These groups have the main interest of seeking the welfare and collective good of their members. They are classified as enterprises because, apart from their main interest of seeking the collective good and welfare of their members, they are also into business and make profits. Then we also have consumer cooperative societies, and these consist of consumers who use the resources to buy in bulk and sell on credit, but at cheaper prices to their members. Consumer cooperative societies consist of consumers who use their resources to buy in bulk and sell on credit, but at cheaper prices to their members. For example, the Teachers Consumer Cooperative. And one very good initiative that cooperative embarked on was to buy large plots of land at very cheap prices because they buy it in bulk, and then now sell it to their members on credit and at very flexible payment terms. Another type of cooperative is the employees' cooperative societies. And these are cooperative societies that are formed by workers to champion their collective interests and welfare. For example, the Teachers' Welfare Cooperative. Note that these cooperatives, apart from engaging in dialogues and championing the interest and welfare of their members, also have businesses that they establish through their contributions. Members of these cooperatives contribute money in the form of dues, that serves as a medium of fundraising with which they engage in businesses like buying buses that work for them, like establishing companies, or purchasing properties that they rent out to make profits from and share among members. Another type of cooperative, which is the most common, is the credit unions. Credit unions are individuals who have come, or a group of individuals who have come together to contribute money into a common fund so that loans are granted to them when they face financial challenges. An example is the Tema North or North Tema Credit Union. Another example is the Presbyterian Credit Union. And then there are so many other credit unions around. Credit unions are very open, and so anybody at all can join a credit union, go by their rules and their policies, and will enjoy the benefits of being part of these credit unions. Let's look at characteristics of cooperatives or credit unions. Cooperatives, as a business entity, or a type of business entity operates under the mother union called the Credit Unions Association, CUA Ghana. So any cooperative credit union at all operates under the mother union called the Credit Unions Association of Ghana. Another characteristics of credit unions or cooperatives is that they are voluntary organizations. And so membership is open to everyone, anyone at all who wants to join, provided you are ready to go by their policies and their rules of engagement. You can join any cooperative of your choice. Another characteristics or feature of cooperatives or credit unions is that they are managed by elected management at individual union levels. And so though they all operate under the Credit Unions Association of Ghana, there is no centralized leadership, but rather they are managed by elected management at individual union levels. So if there is a Kojo Chrome Credit Union and there is Kankodru Community Credit Union, these two credit unions do operate under the Credit Unions Association of Ghana, do not have a centralized leadership, but rather they elect their management at their individual union levels. And also, cooperatives hold annual general meetings. They hold annual general meetings at which each member has a vote on any matter, and they vote by universal adult suffrage. That is, every member has one vote. In issues of leaders, selection of leaders, or any vote on directives and policies, each member has the right to vote. Another common feature of cooperatives is that ownership is based on shares or financial contribution. So no single person can claim ownership of any cooperative or credit union, but rather your level of ownership you can claim is based on the number of shares you have or the amount of financial contribution you made to the union. So cooperatives might be like joint stock companies in the area of liability. It means that members have unlimited liability. Members have limited liability. The features of cooperatives may make it look so good. Irrespective of that, cooperatives have its own advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are that there is equity and fairness in sharing of dividends. And also, they have managerial democracy. It means that no centralized system dictates what management directions any individual union should take, but they select their own managers and do their own or put down their own management policies and plans. Then there is a large pool of capital, and also cooperatives are credit worthy because they have physical structures like offices and other properties in place with which they can be traced and found. Then also cooperatives organize fora, seminars, training, and conferences for their members to equip them with knowledge and skills on better ways of engaging in legal, and lucrative businesses so that their standard of living can be improved. Some disadvantages of cooperatives is that there is inadequate managerial skills. Because their management or members of their management are elected, sometimes these elected people may not have the needed or the required managerial skills, but they have the love of the people and popularity, and so they are elected. Therefore, they fall short in the area of managing the union. Another problem or disadvantage of cooperatives or credit unions is default in loan repayment. More often, some members default their loan repayment. When they are given loans by the union, paying back the loans become problem. Then inadequate commitment by some members is another problem or another challenge, another disadvantage of credit unions. Some members are not committed to the union, they don't participate in the union activities, they don't pay their dues as required, but they still claim membership of the union, which is bad. Another disadvantage is theft and embezzlement. Usually, when greedy and corrupt leaders are elected to the managerial position, they may sometimes engage in theft and embezzlement of funds, misappropriation of funds, the use of union funds for uh, the wrong purposes, and so on. And sometimes it may lead to the collapse of the union or the cooperative. And so usually when people are afraid to join cooperatives because of such experiences of embezzlement. Then another disadvantage of cooperatives is a general low savings culture of some members. Because of the financial and economic problems and constraints in our country, most members of cooperatives these days are not able to save much. And so, the cooperatives do not have enough funds in their coffers. Talking about funds, what are the sources of funds to cooperative societies? Members' savings is their most important source of funds. And so the more the members save, the more funds they have to perform their activities. Loans from financial institutions. Cooperatives are credit-worthy institutions or groups that are able to access loans from financial institutions for their activities. Another source of fund to cooperatives is the profit they have from their businesses. They can reinvest their profits into business. Then sometimes cooperatives receive aids and grants from the Cooperative Association or Credit Union Association International and other benevolent organizations. I hope you have learned a lot today. What have you learned? We have learned about cooperatives as type of enterprise. We have looked at the characteristics of cooperatives. We have looked at the types of cooperatives. We have discussed the advantages and disadvantages of cooperatives. And then we have also looked at the sources of fund to cooperative societies. What are their contributions to the economy of Ghana? Just like any other business entity or enterprise, they create employment, they generate income, They also facilitate foreign cash inflows because they are able to access funds from branches overseas. They also provide education and training for members, which is very important. Then they assist members to cultivate savings habits. I want you to answer the following questions as a test of your knowledge on today's discussion. Mention 3 types of cooperative societies. State 2 characteristics of cooperative societies. And then 3, identify 2 sources of funds to cooperative societies. And this brings us to the end of today's lesson. I want to remind you to keep observing all the COVID-19 safety protocols. Wear your mask before you go out. Stay at home if you don't have anything to do outside. And above all, keep learning. Until we meet again next week, bye-bye.